It's been 5 years since Supercell has added second star powers, and I think it's about time to add a third. So here's third star power concepts for every brawler in Brawl Stars. So first up are the rare brawlers. I tried to keep all of these star powers kinda simple because you get them at the start of the game. Shelly was absolutely broken when she had a very fast movement speed, so why not make it conditional? For Shelly, I've decided to make it so that her third star power, called Share of Spree, gives her a 3-second speed boost every kill. And next is Nita, who really struggles against brawlers that pierce. So I've made her third star power make Bruce block all piercing projectiles. Cold's super has always been really hard to hit, especially considering he's a starter brawler. Therefore, I made his third star power make his super wider, faster, and longer. It's basically Magnum Special, but for a super. Bull's super is really slow, especially when compared to Colette's dash. So I made Bull's third star power make his super go 30% faster and do 20% more damage. Now that Frank is literally just Thanos, El Primo has become the new walking super totem. So I've made El Primo's third star power make him give 50% less supercharge to brawlers that hit him. I've made Brock's third star power make his fire 30% bigger and set stationary objects on fire, dealing 200 extra damage per second for 2 seconds, since Brock's fire does absolutely nothing 99% of the time. When Barry gets his hypercharge, Barley's just gonna be a worse Barry. So I made Barley's third star power make brawlers in his attack slowed by 17%. Unlike Barry, Pam, and Gus, Poco doesn't really have a lingering heal effect. Because of this, I made his star power make his super leave a healing residue behind. With all the new overpowered brawlers added to Brawl Stars, Rosa's super doesn't seem that menacing anymore. So for the final rare brawler, a speed boost while in her super should probably fix that. And now for the super rare brawlers. Since you get them a bit later in the game, I tried to make their third star powers a bit more interesting. Jesse's turret is only really viable with walls. Without them, it can be easily taken out by a long range brawler. So I've made Jesse's third star power spawn sandbags around her turret, shielding it from attacks. For Dinah, I've made his star power a bar that charges over 4 seconds. When it's filled, his next attack will instantly detonate when it hits the ground instead of having a slight delay. Tick's already just really annoying, so I just made his third star power shoot an extra mine every 3 attacks. 8-Bit's turret is really valuable and is what makes him viable, so I made his third star power spawn minions that protect it. I made Rico's third star power bouncy ammo, which gives him a bit of ammo for every shot that he hits. Rico's a really high skill cap brawler, and this should reward players that are good with him and hit shots. Now what are pirates known for? That's right, stealing. So Daryl's third star power steals a quarter of supercharge and 1 ammo from anyone he hits with his super. Penny's turret really relies on walls to function, and because of that I made her third star power build a 3-tile wall in front of her super. Carl's pickaxe does anything else other than actually break rocks, so I made his third star power allow him to smash his pickaxe into a wall to make rock fragments appear. I made Jackie's third star power effect repellent make stuns, slows, burns, and other negative effects last 30% shorter. This should make it easier to close the gap on enemies. Gus's ghosts currently do nothing to enemies unless Gus activates his gadget, so what if his third star power make enemies who walk near Ghost 10% slower? And now for the epic brawlers. For Bo, I made his third star power make him able to attack airborne objects with the 50% accuracy. Hopefully this makes those pesky Mikos go away. And I made Em's third star power make enemies in a 5-tile radius around her 5% slower at all times. This shouldn't be too overpowered and should make her a better map controller. Stu's whole kit is based off his super, so I made his third star power automatically charge his super slowly. For some reason, Piper slowly is becoming the first assassin sniper hybrid. And to lean into this, I made Piper's third star power give her a 3-second 30% shield and a 15% damage boost after using her super. Unlike Poco, Pam doesn't have any anti-effect properties, so I made her third star power make all negative effects like stuns, poisons, and burns 60% less effective while in her turret zone. For Frank, I made his star power a shield that slowly increases throughout a match to make him even more tanky. Honestly, BB's second gadget should just be a star power. I made B's star power cached ammo, which allows B to store an extra ammo represented by this bar. Currently, Nani's 2 star powers both only focus on her super, so I made her third star power make her do more damage if she hits 2 or 3 projectiles on a brawler. For our favorite emo boy, I made his third star power give him a super every time he dies. Should be pretty useful for my randoms.
Hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
I made Griff's third star power extra change, which makes him shoot 10 coins instead of 9. After Grom's nerf, he's been pretty useless against assassins, so I made his star power speed up his attack projectile. And for Bonnie, I made her star power increase her projectile speed by 7%, effectively undoing her nerf around a year ago. Gale's star powers are really strong, and therefore his third star power has to be on the same level, so I made his third star power a pseudo max super, giving teammates hit by it an extra 1000 max HP and a 10% speed boost for 5 seconds, while also removing any negative effects from them like stuns and slows. Now for Colette, I made her third star power make her super throw out pages from her notebook, which should make it easier to get value out of her super even if you miss. Belle's bouncing mechanic is what makes her unique, and because of that I decided to lean into that mechanic. Belle's third star power allows her shots to bounce twice as many times and over a 20% longer distance. It takes a really skilled player to keep Ash at full rage all the time, so I've made his third star power reward that by making his rage 12.5% more effective. So basically, instead of each rage bar giving 800 more damage, it gives 900 more damage. Each rage bar also increases Ash's speed by 6.25%. For Lola, wouldn't it be fun to play with two clones of yourself? Sam's first star power really overshadows his second, so instead of making a third star power for him, I'll just rework his second. Instead of his super recharging, I think his knuckle busters should just return after 3 seconds of being on the ground. I made Mandy's third star power fast focus, which makes her focus her attack twice as fast. Macy's shots are kinda clunky and hard to hit, so I made her attack projectile 15% faster with her third star power, Enhanced Arm. And for Hank, I made him able to heal 200 health per second while charging his bubble. Pearl's often considered a boring brawler, so I made her third star power, Heat Rush, which increases her movement speed by 10% when over 60% heat. For Larry and Lori, I made their third star power, Better Together, which allows Lori and Lori to get a 10% shield when they're close to each other. For Angelo, I made his star power, make his attack charge 30% faster when he's in his super, which should make it easier to hit his poison shots. Barry really struggles with damage, so I made his third star power make him able to stack his attack, but only for 2 ticks. And second to last of Mythic Brawlers. By the way, if you've watched this far into the video, consider subscribing. I'm trying to hit 1000 by the end of next month. Mortis's kit is about mobility, so I made his third star power give him a 20% speed boost for 3 seconds after he uses his long dash. I think I came up with a pretty interesting one for Tara. For her third star power, Tara switches HP with whoever gets hit by her super. So with this, it would be better to get low than super opponents to one-shot them. A lot of people, especially my randoms, really do struggle with hitting Jean's super, so I made his third star power make his super home in slightly to enemies. For Max, I made her third star power give everyone in her super's radius an 8% damage boost for 4 seconds. Mr. P is really weak in this meta because of all the aggressive brawlers, so I made his third star power make his initial suitcase hit do 20% more damage. Sprout is absolutely trash in ladder because of all the close range brawlers, so I made its star power make it deal more damage the shorter the distance its attack projectile goes. I made Byron's third star power give allies hit by his attack a 5% speed boost and enemies hit by his attack a 5% speed decrease for 3 seconds. For Squeak, I thought it would make sense for his third star power to deal 200 damage right as the blob hits, just for some anti-healing. This might be a bit overpowered on second thought though. Blue's shots are really hard to hit, so I made his third star power a bar which makes his next attack shoot 4 cones instead of 3 when full, making his shots even more rewarding if you hit them. Russ is arguably the most forgotten brawler in the game, so why not make his third star power making able to make his teammates go Super Saiyan by stacking supers. I made Buzz's third star power Intimidate, which slows down brawlers in a circle by 5%. And I made Fang's third star power give him a 10% speed boost for 2 seconds every time he hits a shoe. Eve's hatchlings do no damage, so I made them do extra ticks of damage depending on how far they move for Eve's star power. Janet can't heal or reload during her super, so I made her third star power restore those features but only with a 50% efficiency. I made Otis's star power make enemies hit by a super take 50% extra damage for the duration of his super. So yeah, if you're hit by this, you're extra dead. Buster's shield still leaves him vulnerable at his sides, so I made his third star power increase the radius of his super. This might be a bit overpowered, but I made Grace's star power make him able to place 2 supers at once. RT is pretty vulnerable without his super in his split form, so I made his third star power give him a 7.5% extra speed boost while in his split form, if he doesn't have his super. I made Willow's third star power block 40% of incoming damage when controlling someone. It takes a lot of effort to get Duck's super, so I made his third star power give anyone hit by his juicy wiener a 10% speed boost and a 5% damage boost for the duration of the hot dog. It doesn't really make sense that brawlers take no knockback after a literal train runs through them, so I made Chuck's star power knock back any enemies that are hit by a super. For Charlie, I made her star power a bar, which when charged makes her next attack spawn a spider. And for Miko, I made his third star power make him do more damage the closer he jumps to his enemies. Now for Melody, I made her star power Echo Chamber, which allows her to have a 4th note. I made Lily's third star power give her 20% damage reduction shield when she doesn't have at least 1 ammo. And finally for the Mythics, I made Clancy's star power make his super throw 3 extra projectiles. And finally for the legendary brawlers. So first up for Spike, it's really easy to dodge a non-curveball Spike's shots, so I made his third star power make him able to heal 100 HP every spike he hits. Crow wants to chip everyone down with his poison, so I made his star power make his attacks do more damage the more health his enemies have. This is basically the opposite of Carry on Crow. With the tank meta, it's hard for Leon to get a kill without his hypercharge, so I made his third star power make his first attack after supering do an extra 30% damage. This might be a bit annoying, but I made Sandy's third star power impair the vision of enemy brawlers in a super. For Amber, I made her star power make her super deal 100 damage per second for anyone that steps in the oil. For Meg's third star power, I made her small form shoot 3 bullets at a time instead of 2. And for Surge's star power, I made it so that he can upgrade to stage 5, which makes his attack do an extra 200 damage. Now I made Chester's star power lean into his randomness. When Chester hits a bell on an enemy, it has a 3% chance of slowing them for 1 second, a 3% chance of knockbacking them, and a 2% chance of stunning them for half a second. For Cordelius' 3rd star power, I made it so that enemies in the Shadow Realm get their screen distorted. To make it more of a support brawler, I made his star power allow him to tank for the brawler he's riding if he has more HP than them. And finally Draco. With Draco's 2nd star power, you get infinite health, but can run out of ammo. So I made Draco's 3rd star power the exact opposite. While in dragon form, Draco reloads 30% faster, and after supering, Draco gets all of his ammo back instead of just half. And that's all the brawlers done. And hey, while you're at it, why not get better at Brawl Stars by watching this video on the screen.